Hello and welcome to episode 242 of the Veeam Community Recap. I'm not in normal circumstances, but you know what? Last week, Madalena wasn't either, even though she was home. Good thing we recorded on Monday. I'm here in sunny Barcelona, and Maddie, you have gotten through some sick funk that you had. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Hey Rick, hello community. Yes, I mean, I had a tough week last week. I was with fever and all. I still worked a little bit, but yeah, it wasn't a great week. But luckily, I feel better, and this week, ready to deal with a lot of projects and things that are left behind. So super busy week in here, and not that sunny as yours.
Indeed. I couldn't move the TV, so I just played YouTube and I played my favorite show, which is the Veeam Community Recap. So I mean, literally, it's fixed on the floor. I can't move the desk, so this is what I've got. And this is my last trip of the year, Maddie. I can't wait to fly home. And it's been a whopper of a year and a big stretch of travel for me. So it'll be good. And um, it's nice to look towards a little bit of a break. I am going to take some time off as I do, but the community has been busy. In fact, we have one more thing for the year. So I say we jump into it. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. We have a lot of great content as always.
Oh no, not that's my last slide. Sorry. Okay. First up is Marvin Mikowski, who is doing a lot of things in a lot of places. But I love this walkthrough of configuring an HA cluster. He's from Germany, so I'm going to have to move fast. There's a lot of content.
Of course it is. So yeah, Marvin, I think this is the first time when we are calling his name in the recap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but I think maybe I've seen it elsewhere. Maybe it was maybe he did one of the idea feature requests or something. But yeah, this is probably the first featured time.
Yeah, that could be it. But yeah, we probably saw his name on LinkedIn. He has that, fun, real thing. So yeah, if you don't follow Marvin, you should follow him on LinkedIn because it's really funny. I always watch those reels and I always laugh. They are Veeam themed, but they are funny. So yeah, he's in this post, he walks us through how to configure the new high availability feature in Veeam Software Appliance 13.0.1. And the high availability allows two VSA nodes to work together to minimize downtime and provide quick disaster recovery without requiring a separate standby backup server. And he covers in here the prerequisites like two VSAs, premium licensing, virtual IP, proper DNS, and then shows the full step-by-step setup process, including the security officer approval, cluster creation, and how to perform switch over and failover. He also highlights a known issue when capacity tier is enabled and offers workarounds. And then he provides alternative approaches if a HA isn't feasible. And I really like this because it's really practical guide and it really reflects the real world testing. And he's including the troubleshooting, the workarounds. These are very valuable. And I think Marvin is doing a great job by highlighting the benefits of the new HA feature, but also being very transparent about the limitation and the current bugs. So I really kind of like this balancing it out. So great job, Marvin, and hopefully we'll call your name in the recap more often.
Indeed, and 27 screenshots, friends. This is fantastic. It really walks
Very
through
German.
everything, and I love just looking at this. This gives you a good sense of setting up this new capability that's in V13, a Veeam data platform, especially because he's going through all the little things like the security officer. He's also going through, the fact that you just look at the infrastructure, DNS, got to get that right. Very good stuff. And I like the diagram as well. So thank you, Marvin, for highlighting this. And yes, this is hopefully the first of many calls we do for your name. All right, next up. Okay, this guy always has cool stuff. This is Timothy DeWin from our team, one of our employees in the I can never remember. He's Belgium, not Netherlands. Okay. And but the Veeamdex, this is a pretty interesting new tool that he's put up on GitHub.
Yeah, I actually spoke with Timothy about this project just last week, and it is great to see that he's already sharing it at the hub. And it's not just like another link collection, it's just like super smart and very useful tool that improves how the community navigates Veeam knowledge. And it's basically what is Veeamdex is just a browser-based style list of Veeam resources, and you can see best practices, community hub, forums, the base knowledge, etc., etc. And it's with a built-in search. And because everything runs locally in the browser, it works pretty well on GitHub pages as well and stays fast even with a large number of links, which is pretty cool. And one of the coolest feature is the deep query function, which pre-builds Google searches scoped to specific Veeam domains. And it's really quick, to dig into topics like whatever you need, object storage, without typing site filters manually. So really genius. Really like this project, Timo. Really, and it's asking for the community, feedback. So if you guys use it, just put there your comments and give Timo some feedback so he can improve if you find any bugs or anything like that. So that would be cool.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And, Timo, I could see myself keeping this up in a meeting to get quick answers to things. I'd recommend everyone kind of like give it a couple of looks to see how it rolls. But yeah, I think it can be very, very quick. So fantastic. Thank you for that. That's awesome.
Totally.
All right. Next up in featured content is Matthias Giovanni, and that name should sound familiar by the end of this show. He's got a post talking about Veeam ONE, which I love, going deep and beyond in the platform.
Yeah. So Mateus in here is talking about the daily reality of IT teams handling backups, updates, multiple infrastructures at once. And he points out that the hidden risk that often, slips through the fingers. Old VM snapshots left unchecked, they can slow down backups, eat up data store space, even cause restore failures. So what's clever here is the use of Veeam ONE automated alerts. And by setting a rule to flag snapshots older than 2 days, admins get an early warning before those silent issues turn into outages. And the flexibility goes even further. Alerts can track low data store space, abnormal disk growth, any backup job failures. So this is very proactive approach. And the takeaway here is really simple. Automation isn't just about saving your time, it's about protecting performance. And with these smart alerts, you can just, move from firefighting problems to preventing them. And that's the kind of thing that the infrastructure needs, really. You want to be proactive rather than just, try to fix. So pretty cool. I really like the approach in here and how Mateus puts everything together.
Yeah, I think this alert in particular, if you've not done any of these types of alerts with Veeam ONE, this is a very good one to get started with. For all these benefits that you mentioned here, Madi, that Matthias has highlighted, but also the one that I want to kind of raise is that if these snapshots get out of control, it actually will degrade the performance of everything else, right? So it's one of those things that you definitely want to be on top of this. In fact, Michael Cade, you found a whole bunch in my lab that I need to adjust. I need to get on that. So this is the type of stuff that actually can impact performance for others, other workloads in your environment as well. So I even have some homework myself. So thank you for sharing, Matthias. All right. Now, the Vanguard Spotlight, and I dropped the word blog in particular because this one isn't a blog. Now, this is 2 reasons cool. It's a topic that we don't see a lot covered legal, and it's a podcast. And I think this is a very, very cool featured piece of content.
Yeah, I totally agree. As you said, like we don't do really a lot of podcasts, and also the legal stuff caught my eye as well. So, pretty interesting topic in here. They are interviewing Jonah and Tom. They are interviewing attorney Peter Vogel, who has knowledge in both law and computer science. And the discussion covers critical areas like data privacy, transparency, SOC 2 compliance, vendor accountability, cyber insurance, and it's just practical advice that includes, protecting data across borders, demanding real disaster recovery, business continuity testing, capping annual fee increases, then verifying vendor insurance coverage, all these aspects that are super, super important. We don't talk a lot about it in here, but I think it's a fantastic discussion. And I think this episode is a must listen for SaaS leaders, but not only SaaS leaders, I think in general, because it highlights risks that often get overlooked in, just our rush to innovate, because we talk a lot about that. And too many teams really focus on technical delivery, and they underestimate the legal compliance side of the cloud partnerships. And yeah, you have to make sure protections are in place before a breach or audit happens. And it's really a good reminder that strong SaaS strategy isn't just about uptime and features. It's also about building your legally strategy, resilient partnership that protect both the provider and the customer. Really, really good episode. Hats on to both of you and to Peter. I really recommend everyone to listen to this episode.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I will give this a listen as well. But Tom, Jonah, thank you for driving kind of different topics. And that's one of the things about the Vanguard program. We feature a lot about their blogs, but
Yeah.
you got to also remember that the Vanguard program has many different ways to contribute and engage. It could be podcasts, GitHub, and just even other things, right? So this is a good example of kind of the varietal way that these folks contribute. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jonah, and definitely looking forward to meeting you on this show, Peter. All right, good stuff. Good find, Madi. Speaking of Madi and good finds, we have a winner for Blog of the Month, and it is none other than Matthias Giovanni.
Yeah, you said we're gonna mention him again, and we are doing it. Congratulations, Mateus. Really good article in here, and you definitely got your 14 votes. So fantastic job. You got the like as well from Rick. So so yeah, let's see what December brings, but I'm sure it's coming with a lot of other good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a easy one to just talk about V13 to get the votes, but that's a great one. Congratulations, Matthias Giovanni. And it's kind of funny. We said last time that events are going to get quiet, but you had a request for one more online event for the year, and guess what? It's Brazil.
Yeah, it's Brazil. Andre came to us and he was like, I know you said it in our VUG leader call that, between, December, January, we are not going to have events, but can we just do one more? And we were like, of course you can do it. So they decided to do one more expert answer data cloud. So I think this is going to be very interesting. It's going to be led by Andre, and there are two of his colleagues from
Andre and Bruno.
Yeah, from Adistech. So this is going to be December 9th. So this is going to be a virtual event. You still have time to register. It's going to be hosted on his Zoom. So it's going to be a little bit more like run by the community. We are not really supporting in that regard. So, but still, Andre agreed that he's going to send the recording, so it's going to still be available at the community hub and on Veeam YouTube. So if you don't manage to be there for the live session, you can rewatch it. So no worry about that. But thank you, Andre, for putting this together, and looking forward to it.
Indeed. And I do expect this event to be in Brazilian Portuguese. I translated it to English, but Brazil never disappoints. So thank you, Andre, and Bruno. Good stuff. All right. Last piece of featured or special department news. We had, our Veeam 100 summit earlier in November, and Madi did a great job. Nicola and Sophia as well. It's kind of, encouraging all of the attendees to really have a super blog contest. And we've got a great number of people who have done write-ups, and it's kind of like what we do with blog of the month, but let's pick the best one. And there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, we have like 23 that submitted. So a great number of blogs. There are still few others that posted yesterday, but it was a little bit too late to participate in the contest. There are prizes involved, but what I like about it is like, different style, and people talk about what impacted them. For some of them, it's the 10th maybe summit. I don't know if we had 10, but like, I don't know, maybe 7th, 8th summit, and they talk from that perspective and how the Veeam 100 summit evolved from the Vanguard summit to the Veeam 100, where you had like 20, 30 people, and now we have over 100, 150 people that are participating, and to the people that participate for the first time, and they take for the first time a flight, and you can definitely read through these articles and see the impact that this event has on each and every of them. So that's the part that I love the best about it. And I definitely advise, people that maybe are interested in being part of the Veeam 100 program, or just to understand better the community and what we are trying to achieve, to go over some of these, or if you have the time, of course, all of them, and just read and understand a little bit better of, what can do this community for you as an individual, and what's the impact it can have. So really appreciate all of you that participated. I love reading through, and good luck, all of you. And yeah, there's a prize involved. There's a Raspberry Pi and a t-shirt with Veeam community logo. So
that's a good prize. Wow. That's not just a badge. We're not, there's a phrase, pay pixels, but whoa, pay them in Raspberry Pi. You're going serious here.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be cool.
I look at the list here of Vladon, Ian, Christopher Glimall, and Chris Chowderhose would probably be ones among the ones that have been to the most, experiences over the years.
Yeah.
And, it is crazy. Our first kind of summit would have been in 2015, and we kind of hosted it at Veeam ONE. And then in 2016, we did our first on our own event. 2017, we took it to Veeam ONE as well. And then 2018 and 19, we had a Vanguard type summit in Prague, and then 21 as well. 22, 23, and 24. Those last three is when we've done the combined all programs. So yeah, it's great to watch it evolve, and thank you all for the write-ups that have been done here. This is really fantastic.
Yeah, and you all please vote, because somebody has to win that. So
yeah,
they all they deserve, because they put a great passion and great effort to write that. So let's vote.
Oh man, it's crazy here, Maddie. With so many to choose from, you almost need like a playoff bracket, to work through, because there's just too many choices at once. But every vote matters, I think, is the real takeaway here.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do it. Let's all do it.
All right. Last up is our Who's New. Big thank you to Sophia for catching up on this. We had the holiday last week, so this is a 2-week number. Couple of coolest usernames: Firestorm, Flip Daniel, Rubber Ball, and Miss Brazil. Cool names there. Welcome everyone in addition to the coolest usernames. And then Mr. Magic Man is Alfred's pick. You have a badge coming your way. So some funny names. Sorry, I am on one screen, but we are back here. So some funny names to the community, as there always will be, but still good traction for this time of year.
Absolutely, plus 300, more than 300. That's pretty good number.
Does it throw you off with you and
Yeah,
me?
so distracted. I just keep on watching there. I try to concentrate. What am I saying? But then
No, that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm putting the TV to work. But no, Maddie, thank you so much for curating the content here this week.
As always, a pleasure. Good stuff. And every week we get more and more good stuff. So very grateful to our community.
Oh, we're blessed in the community department for sure. Next week, I will be back in the office, so semi-normal circumstances. In fact, we have some, maybe I'll sneak some information, visitor photos or something. We have somewhat of a VIP coming to the office next week. I'll leave it at that as a secret. So we'll see. And some teams coming in. So it'll be exciting. Yeah, anything else that we need to think about for next week?
Not for next week, but I think the recap is going to take a break, probably the week of the Christmas, New Year's Eve, something like that. So we're going to have probably another 2-3 weeks maybe of, I don't know if I'm counting right, but about
yeah,
there.
We'll definitely have a holiday quiet time, and then but we'll finish up until at the look at the calendar. We'll definitely get a couple more episodes, plural, in December, but then we'll take a break after that. But no, thank you, community. Thank you, Maddie. And we will see you next week on 243.